I suppose if Kirby can turn into a pinball, what's stopping him from turning into other types of balls? A football, a basketball, golf ball? Yeah, that's a good one. It's nice and relaxing, you go at your own pace, there's no teams, you just hit the Kirby into the hole. Kirbys Dreamcourse is more than just golf though. You got your boy Kirb, and then you got a bunch of enemies from the previous Kirby games rendered in stunning 16-bit graphics for the first time. The object of the game is to touch all the enemies until only one is left, and that one becomes the hole that you gotta go in. This is interesting because it allows the player to decide which enemy becomes the goal, and depending on how well you plan your movements, that can potentially ruin everything. As seen here, where I can't get in. I fucked up by getting that guy last. Whoops. But it makes for a very flexible strategy. There's a lot of depth and complexity in this game. There are 3 main modes for punting Kirby: along the ground, up in the air, and really fast along the ground. The targeting bobbles are a handy guide for where Kirby will go if you time the swing perfectly, but there's many things that can happen to change the course that won't be represented in the bobbles. What the hell do you call that? Targeting reticule? Whatever. Bobbles. You know, some of this stuff reminds me of the sort of things you'd see in a snooker game. Maybe it's more of that instead of golf? Wait a second. Was table stickball originally supposed to be the equivalent of indoor golf? Green, white ball, stick, hole, pink ball. Oh. Anyway, you can add spin to the Kirby indicated by the crosshair. When going along the ground, you can spin left and right, and when doing an aerial punt, you can also spin forwards and backwards. This alone gives the player tons of ways to traverse the higgledy-piggledy checkerboard table stickball landscape, and makes for an engaging and fun game. But there are a lot more to it, in the form of copy abilities. Yes, Kirby Pinball was just a plain old pinball game, but this game includes Kirby's, now signature, move. Certain enemies flash, and when Kirby runs into them, he gains their ability. These abilities can be activated when in motion and only once per swing, so timing and planning is essential. You've got Stone, which makes Kirby stop dead in his tracks and fall down in a straight line, which is helpful for not falling off the edge, but only if you're not on a slanted thing, because then you go slanted down. Ice, which if timed correctly can allow you to slide across a body of water by turning it temporarily into ice. The umbrella can be used to fall slowly and move around a little in the air. The jump power can be used to gain a big slice of altitude. The spark can be used to destroy trees and be invincible, I think. The porcupine can be used to stick to the ground even if it's slanted, which is very handy. The tornado can make Kirby tornado around wildly. I didn't figure out how to control this one, but I feel like there's a way to use it reliably to go where you want. The UFO can be used to hover in a straight line across the map for 10 seconds or until cancelled, which is good for getting across the big old gaps. The flame ball, which gives you a boost, and I think can be used to blast through trees, although I'm not sure, I didn't get to test that. And finally, the wheel, which gives you a boost of speed in whatever direction you're traveling. Many levels in the courses are tailored around using these abilities with perfect accuracy and timing in order to get a hole in one. And when you pull it off, it's the best feeling in the world. Though, like in golf, whenever you have a straight shot to the hole and you over or undershoot it, it's the worst feeling in the world. Comes with the territory, I guess. There are 8 courses in single-player mode, each with 8 stages. You have 3 lives to get through all 8 stages. If you lose all your lives, you have to redo the whole course, which happened a few times. And I don't like it, but I understand. Just like Kirby Pinball, this game is not meant to be completed really fast. Kirby's Adventure and Dreamland were short, fun games that anyone can pick up and play with relative ease. But Pinball and Dreamcourse are built to last as games you keep coming back to, games that have a high skill ceiling and can continue to be richly engaging for months, years even. A consequence of that difficulty is that I couldn't beat the game fast enough to make this video, but I saw enough of it that I'm pretty satisfied I know what I'm talking about when I say the game's great. The music and sound effects are fucking delicious. The SNES is really good for sound effects, I've realized. Super Mario RPG had some killer bounce noises, dude. Killer. Kirby in 16-bit is adorable and beautiful, and I love it. I can't wait to play Kirby Superstar. The isometric perspective and the bounce physics are finely tuned and feel proper. When Kirby rolls around, it feels like he has weight, and it's weirdly satisfying to watch him fall off the edge. Even though that's Terrible. He died. Oh yeah, falling off the edge isn't the only way you can lose a life. There's also the tomato meter. The tomatometer. Whatever. At the start of the course, you have 4 tomatoes. Every shot you take reduces the tomato meter by 1. Every time you touch an enemy and turn it into a star, or when you get into the hole, you get a tomato back. The challenge is to not go for too many shots before making progress. Every time you lose all your tomatoes, you lose a life. It's just how it happens. This is different from actual golf, which doesn't have any tomatoes. While you are scored based on how many shots you take, there isn't a maximum amount of shots before you lose a life. As long as you complete the course, you get to move on to the next one. Doesn't matter how badly you do, but you just make sure you don't die 3 times, okay? This element of challenge is interesting because it treats the entire course as an endurance run. Every time you mess up, the likelihood that you'd even get to the final stage decreases. It makes everything more stressful the further into the course you get, and results in a lot of restarts for slightly imperfect first few stages. If you lose a life on the first stage, you may as well give up and start again. You're not gonna get to the end. I don't particularly like that from a design perspective, because you end up playing the first stages over and over and getting good at them, but practicing on the later stages takes more and more time to the point where the game demands a huge amount of your time, more time than I have. Man, is that the time? Gee, this video's out late. It's a whole day. Kirby Month may have been too much work for me, it's stressing me out. But you know what doesn't stress me out? Kirby's Dreamcourse. I love this game, I recommend it to everyone. It's a great game. Play it with a friend if you can. Watch the Game Grumps Let's Play of it. Now that's a fun Kirby time. Anyway, it's not just missing a shot that can reduce the tomato meter. There are eye clouds and spike boys, and spikes, that can damage Kirby if he touches them, and he can touch them multiple times in a single shot, meaning, you're fucked. Don't touch spikes. They're painful. But ultimately, I think the large difficulty makes moments like the getting the hole in one far more rewarding. God, look at that, man. It's so beautiful. It's majestic. I did that. I'm a proud mama. There goes my boy. Oh, mama's proud. I got an extra life. Thanks for watching the video. I have a Patreon. Hopefully you can click the link, although I've been told YouTube has put restrictions on that, so maybe it isn't there. Check the description though, I don't think they can block Patreon links in the description. If they can, fuck it. I'll put a big text thing up on the screen and you can just type it into your URL. Patreon.com/LouisBatten with an E. Man, fuck YouTube. Kirby's better. I would upload videos to Kirby.